Will this enable you to create light from your fingertips and show your hands empty? Let's find out. This is Firefly by Titanus. So my name is Steve Faulkner. Welcome to Real Magic Review. Before we do this, can you like and subscribe? Check out onlinemagic.co. That's my membership site. It's brilliant. Live sessions most week. Combo, Vanishing Ink and Stevie Faulkner live session. I wasn't trying to remember my name then. I didn't know how to say it. It hasn't got that bad quite yet. Session is tonight, but it'll be too late by the time this goes out, so I don't know why I even mentioned it. Follow me on Instagram if you want, at Steve Faulkner, and the podcast, Steve Faulkner's Magic Show. I'm so proud of it. Amazing people talking to me, waffling on we do for a good couple of hours sometimes. Last one was Mark Elston. It was brilliant, but we've had heavy hitters on there, as you can hear. So Steve Faulkner's Magic Show, that will probably do for now.
But from nowhere, you can have a light appear right in between the palms of your hand. You can see how bright that is, yet whenever you want, you have that light completely vanish, leaving you once again with empty hands. And that is Firefly.
Right. Firefly. Now, I've had a few things from Murphy's Magic recently. They're all great. You know, Murphy's never send me nonsense. They don't really make nonsense. They're good at what they do. But there's been a lot of different versions of things you can do with cards, and they're all brilliant, but they take a lot of sitting down with them, and I look at them and go, right, if I really wanted to do this, great, but this is a 6-hour download. I'm not going to do it yet. I will when I've got the time. God, don't know when that's going to be. But this came along and I saw the trailer and I thought, oh yeah, that looks good. Because I love moments, right? I love things that kind of punctuate our magic. And this really captured my imagination. But I saw the trailer and I was kind of like, you know, is it one of those things that's really angly and all that kind of thing? Glad to say it's not. So what is this? This is a utility device. It's something that enables you, when you first see it, you go, oh great, I can show light in my hand and show my hands empty. And then the more you think about it and watch the tutorial, which is extensive, but you don't have to watch all of it. Well, you do, but you don't have to get a kind of idea of how to do it. That just gives you loads and loads of ideas, like a brainstorming session with different things that will spark your imagination. But the first 10 minutes, you're going to get the idea and be able to use this. So, first of all, yes, brilliant. And I do think that is brilliant, by the way. If I can be at a gig, you know, slightly low light and just go, it's gone, that in itself is a brilliant effect. But then you start thinking, you watch and you think, I could do this. And I've started playing and I've got loads of props in front of me and I've really started thinking, actually, this could do that and it could enable me to do that. And it can be something that is, it's got this Men in Black thing. If you've seen the movie Men in Black, they show you a penetration as a spark. It could be that, and that could be sort of the way into you being hypnotized or seeing things that aren't really happening. Brilliant. Mentalism, you know, they've got a sticker that's a light bulb and that creates light. And then the third eye thing, I'm trying not to do a joke about third eye. The third eye thing, activating the third eye. I'm trying hard. Put it on your head and that lighting up, going into a mentalism thing or as a gag. And that's just, you know, scratching the surface. Any card, it's like a smoke device, right? You get a smoke device. There's a time, wasn't there, when then you could do a card trick without smoke was going to say coming up, give it away there, but it's coming out of the card or the coin. And it always looks brilliant, but of course it can be overused, and you don't want to be using a light for every single trick you do. I think less is more with this sort of thing. So my feeling is that you can't not come up with ideas. This is like the reel. I just got the reel, this the Swedish reel, the El Duco Swedish reel. It's beautiful. And Michael Amar said, when you start putting it through a mic stand, you walk around the room just putting it through different things. It's a bit like that. I've been walking around picking stuff up and going, I could do that. I've got, like I said, little hand, deck of cards, a grape, and it's pretty much endless. So the problem is going to be what do you do it for? And my feeling is take it out on a gig, just play with it, do the basic thing and just build from there. The fact that you can pretty much expose it when the light's on, a bit like optics, which I'm reviewing soon, the new version. Once that light's on, it's brilliant for misdirection as well. I really like this. This is right up my street for a couple of reasons. It's easy, and I love difficult stuff, but I like the idea of the easiness of this, simplicity of this, that's it, allowing me to play and even play live. Once you've got used to this and the angles, you're going to be fine. And when I say angles, in most situations, you will find some ways of doing a thing. So if you think of Little Hand by Michael Amar, right, it's this sort of thing to do the energy ball, which is the ball of light, the sort of basic, I've got light and then I haven't. Don't say that's not the script. So you're pretty fine all the way over there. And then there's stuff you can do if you have got, stuff with, if you're on stage or in parlour and you've got the freedom of nothing behind you, or you're doing stuff for I'm not going to say stuff too much, that's terrible, isn't it? You're performing magic for the camera, which is very valid, and there's some brilliant things you can do here. So the versatility of this, I think, is great, and I would be amazed. I said this exact line about Bandit. If anybody picks this up and says, nah, I can't imagine that happening. There really isn't a negative to this. The only thing I would say, Mr. Squeaky, you tell I've been talking too much. The only thing I would say is that there are two ways of getting this thing into position. There are actually three. There are loads if you think about it and start customizing things. But out of the box, you can use two things, and they're both fine. One of them takes a bit of a faff to get into, and I'll say that with a little f. What I mean is you're going to have to kind of misdirect and do this either before doing the trick or with heavy misdirection. The other way is way easier, but there may be issues if you've got sort of sweaty hands. Those issues can be remedied and practiced and played with, and that's fine. It's not really a negative, but you have to know that. If you get a finger palming and things like that, and nowhere palms and stuff, that opens up a whole other thing. And they tell you how to make something that you might go, oh, I can't be bothered, but that again opens up a whole other world of possibility. And if you've got, like I have, boxes of tat and stationery and things to make things and little creative boxes like a child at home, you'll be able to come up with loads and loads of ways of maybe customizing different props to incorporate this. As you can see, I'm very enthusiastic about this. I know I only review things I like, but I really was drawn to review this. The other thing is that there are 3 settings on this, all right, which is great. Right? One of them is just like whenever you press something with this go switch, which means there's no click, it's silent, this thing, all right, which is important in certain situations. So there's one way you kind of, I'm sure it's fine to say this, that you, as you're doing the thing and then let go and it's gone. So you control it completely. There's a timed thing where it kind of fades up and then stays on for as long as you want, which is really helpful. And then there's a few seconds to fade up, 7 seconds on, and then a few seconds to fade down, something like that. So you can kind of be a bit hands off and not have to do anything when that happens with a bit of practice, synchronizing with the timing. I would have liked a couple more. I thought, right, I want one that comes straight on after 3 seconds and then straight, so I think there's something to be said rarely here for more would have been more. it's not a major problem, and it's a tiny thing, so of course it's easy to sit here and go, what I want is this. And I'm sure there were many meetings saying, well, we can't do everything. Like, what are the most useful ones? But straight on without a fade would have been nice, and in the way of timing it. Maybe there's a way of doing it, and I don't know. But there you go. So really good, well worth your money if you're performing. Obviously, if it's bright light, it's not going to be as effective. And if it's pitch black, it's going to be great, but a bit blinding. And I will say that in practice, be careful. I get those migraines where it's visual and you get like, you have to lie down. It doesn't hurt, but your eyesight gets all flashy. A few of them were kicked off by this because I kept touching it by accident and kind of doing that and having to have a little lie down. So this review may have gone out beforehand had I not blinded myself like an idiot. Similarly, the other day I did make something out of super glue with a prop that I had to put in my mouth in misdirection and forgot to dry it properly and glued my lips together. So don't take it as a negative, take that as me being a bit of an idiot. But there you go, you have to know. And it felt a bit warm sometimes. The light sort of, when I was holding it, did get a bit warm. You know, if that's a problem for you, I shouldn't worry too much about it. There are more things to worry about. That's Firefly by Titanus. I love what he comes out with. I really love Stitch, not the most versatile thing. I absolutely adore Titan's finger. I think it's one of my favourite things. It's just brilliant. Good enough for Charlie Fry to carry in his everyday carry. It's good enough for me. So have a look at that as well. So good stuff, well made. It's going to last you for ages. Charges up quickly, keeps charge for hours, like 2,000 performances or something. I might have made that up, probably. So don't hold me to that. That should be enough for you. Any questions, put them below. Go and have a look at onlinemagic.co, please. That would be lovely. If you are... No, this isn't going to go out in time, so forget about that. And at Steve Faulkner, Instagram, at Real Magic Review. I've started doing that again. Could never make up my mind. And Steve Faulkner's Magic Show. Thanks very much. Have a good one. Thanks, Murphys. See ya. Bye.